So we're going to set up in our parallel position, so your feet are hip width apart parallel. We'll rise up to your tippy toes, bending from your knees. So in Pure Barre, we do a movement called a tuck of your hips or a heavy tailbone. So what that's going to look like is you're going to drop your tailbone to the floor, lift up through the front of your hips, and pull your abs in nice and tight. You want to avoid the natural arch that you have to your low back, which is going to lift that tailbone upwards. You're going to point it down to the floor, pull those abs in again, hips up. You want to avoid that rounded, that over-tucking of your hips, which is going to round that whole back and put tension in the top of your back and your shoulders. So you want to flatten out your back to that neutral spine. So this is our chair pose. We do this in various forms, whether your feet or your knees are turned in, parallel, in or out. So right here we have that flat, neutral spine, that tuck of your hips or heavy tailbone. And again, like we move in those isometric positions, the small movement. So we'll tuck in movements like down an inch and up an inch. So it'll look something like this. If we say go down an inch, up an inch, tiny down, a little lift. So if I were to put a paper clip right next to their hips, that's how small their movement should be. Rather than a bigger range of motion, something like down an inch, up an inch, that's about 6 inches. So you want to avoid those bigger muscles and work the smaller movements to get those smaller accessory muscles.